The emergency beacon pierced through subspace like a scream in the void. Elena stood at the viewport of the observation deck. Her fingers pressed against the cold glass as she watched the council chambers burn in the distance. 3 months. That's all it had taken for the galaxy to tear itself apart after humanity's departure. "They're fighting over Sector 7 again," Adam said, materializing beside her with 2 cups of synthetic coffee. His reflection in the viewport looked as tired as she felt. The Vrex and the Karthani both claim it was promised to them. Elena accepted the cup without taking her eyes off the chaos outside. It was never promised to anyone. We mediated that dispute for 40 years. They just never bothered to learn how to talk to each other. The irony wasn't lost on either of them. Humanity hadn't left with fanfare or threats. There had been no ultimatum, no dramatic final speech before the Galactic Council. Ambassador Chen had simply stood up during session 10,447, thanked the Assembly for 2 centuries of cooperation, and informed them that humanity was withdrawing from all galactic affairs. Within 6 weeks, every human station, every colony, every embassy had been evacuated. They had departed quietly, like guests leaving a party that had run its course. The galaxy had barely noticed at first. "I still can't believe the Hexari Consortium collapsed in 3 weeks," Adam muttered, pulling up a datapad with the latest reports. They were the 2nd largest economy in the galaxy. They were the 2nd largest economy because human traders knew how to navigate 16 different cultural taboos and currency systems simultaneously. Elena corrected. The Hexari never learned. They just assumed we'd always be there to translate, to negotiate, to smooth things over. She remembered Ambassador Chen's words during the final Human Caucus meeting. "We've become a crutch," he had said, his aged face grave in the holographic projection. "Every species in this galaxy has learned to depend on human mediators, human engineers, human problem solvers. They've forgotten how to compromise with each other. They've forgotten how to fix their own ships. They've forgotten how to govern themselves." Adam scrolled through the casualty reports, his jaw tightening. The Averis space elevator. 3,000 dead because no one maintained the counterweight systems. "We maintained those systems," Elena whispered. "The terraform failure on New Andoria. We managed the atmospheric processors. The treaty collapsed between the Silk Worlds. We mediated that peace for 90 years. The list went on. Infrastructure failures, economic collapses, wars erupting over centuries-old grievances that had been frozen by human diplomatic intervention. The galaxy was unraveling thread by thread, and the Galactic Council was finally beginning to understand what they had lost. Elena had been 12 when her parents brought her to her first council session. She remembered being awestruck by the Grand Assembly Chamber, the hundreds of species gathered in unity, the promise of a peaceful galaxy. Her father had been a trade negotiator, her mother a xenobiological engineer. Both had spent their lives in service to galactic harmony. "Do you think they'll ask us to come back?" Adam asked quietly. Before Elena could answer, the comm system chimed. An official message from the Council's Emergency Presidium. She pulled it up on the main screen. 2. All human vessels and colonies from Galactic Council Emergency Presidium. Subject: Urgent request for immediate negotiation. The Council humbly requests humanity's return to mediate the current galactic crisis. We acknowledge our error in taking your contributions for granted. We offer full apologies and request immediate assistance. The situation is critical. Please respond. Adam let out a bitter laugh. 3 months of silence and now it's urgent. Elena read the message again, feeling the weight of 200 years of human history in the galaxy pressing down on her shoulders. She thought of her parents, both buried on stations that no longer existed, having given their lives to hold this fractious collection of species together. She thought of the generations of humans who had served as the galaxy's diplomats, its engineers, its teachers. She thought of the galaxy her daughter would inherit. "They haven't learned anything," she said finally. "Look at the message. They're not asking how to fix their problems. They're asking us to fix their problems for them again." Adam nodded slowly. "So what do we do?" Elena closed the message and turned away from the viewport, away from the burning council chambers and the wreckage of galactic civilization. "We do what Ambassador Chen said. We let them struggle. We let them fail. We let them learn that peace isn't something you can outsource. That civilization requires work, compromise, and sacrifice from everyone, not just the species willing to do the heavy lifting. And if they destroy themselves, She met his eyes, and in them she saw the same pain she felt, the same doubt, the same terrible hope. Then they were never going to survive anyway. But if they can learn, if they can grow, if they can become something more than children waiting for humanity to solve their problems, then maybe one day we'll have a galaxy worth returning to. The comm system chimed again. Another urgent message. Then another. The requests were flooding in now. Desperate pleas from 100 worlds. Elena silenced them all. Humanity had departed quietly. Now in the silence they left behind, the galaxy would either learn to speak for itself or fall into the void of its own making. Either way, the choice was no longer humanity's to make. Outside the viewport, another station's lights flickered and died, swallowed by the darkness of space. Helena raised her coffee cup in a silent toast to the galaxy they had left behind, and the one that might someday learn to save itself. The future would tell which one they had chosen to become.